Imran Khan, after decades of fooling America to get a little money for a few dollars, has admitted that he joined the war on terror only and only and only for dollars, dollars and dollars. Let's debate.
This video from the Torkham border shows how the Taliban is fiercely fighting Pakistan forces. Amid the fierce clashes, Imran Khan has admitted to Pakistan's strategy that war on terror in Afghanistan was only for dollars.
एड के लिए हमने अपने मुल्क की रेपुटेशन को कुर्बान किया, अपने लोगों के इंटरेस्ट के खिलाफ हमने अपनी फॉरेन पॉलिसी बनाई सिर्फ पैसे के लिए। और ये जो पिछले 20 साल गुजरे, ये जो वॉर ऑन टेरर थी, ये तो एक सेल्फ इन्फ्लिक्टेड वुंड थी पाकिस्तान में।
Imran has long been critical of Pakistan's participation in the about 2 decades long war. His support to Taliban reflects from his statement at the OIC.
But my big worry is that unless action is taken immediately, and I mean immediately, because we've been saying this for now 2-3 months, unless action is taken immediately, Afghanistan is heading for chaos.
But with Taliban themselves turning their backs against Pakistan and with Imran going with a begging bowl everywhere,
सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम यह है कि हमारे पास इतना पैसा नहीं है अपने मुल्क को चलाने के लिए, और जिसकी वजह से हमें कर्जे ले रहे हैं।
Pakistan's desperation is evident.
Okay, we have General KK Sinha, we have General Dhruv Katoch, you have Sanju Verma staying on, and Omar Altaf is there. What a shame. What a shame, Omar. You're Prime Minister, and I hope you answer this question. And this is being quoted globally right now, everyone's talking about it, has said that we only fight for money. We have absolutely no reason to otherwise join the war on terror. And he has said that we wanted the money, we wanted the dollars, and therefore we were basically following our foreign policy for money. You must have heard of this shocking remark, Hamid. Have you seen that, Hamid?
Yes,
have you seen that? It's really terrible, you know. There's no shame, you know. When a prime minister of a country says that we fight, our army fights for money, what is left to say? I mean,
he didn't say that.
He said
he didn't
that.
say
He
that.
said that. He
no,
said.
He didn't mean that.
Mean
he just
that?
mean it. He just mean it. Only very simple thing. And this is what that we have lost 80,000 lives. We have faced billions of dollars of losses due to this war on terror. You don't remember and remind his all speeches for the last 10 years that Imran Khan is emphasizing only one thing, that we have been betrayed by America and we don't need to listen to America. And the only thing is that Pakistan could have done much better without involving itself into this war of terror, which cost Pakistan billions of dollars, which cost Pakistan 80,000 lives. And you are talking about the statement.
Hamid, 1 minute, please. Hamid, because I'm trying to balance out time on my program. You know, that's the only reason. Be so kind. Be so kind. Be so kind. Be so kind. You see, the point is, most civilized countries, and I'm not insisting that you are. In fact, I strongly suspect, I've always had a suspicion that you're not. However, I'm not stopping you. I'm not stopping you. I just am telling you, when a country's Prime Minister, General Katoch, goes and says, my foreign policy is based on money.
Let me complete
No,
my
he actually said, my
please.
country's foreign policy has been based on money. What does that tell you? General Katoch, please. What does that tell you? This kind of an admission.
Arnab, I think it is a very open admission which the world knew, but even the world was keeping quiet about it. But I would say that Imran Khan, while he has gone part of the way in making this confession, he hasn't really gone to the
It's not a confession.
to make a complete confession. It is a confession.
It is not a confession.
Okay. Right. Okay.
I'm sorry.
It is a statement.
It's not a confession.
Right. So okay. Right. It's not a confession. It's a statement which he has made, in which he has said that his foreign policy went wrong.
You need to see the content and the context of the statement.
Okay.
In what background he is saying, what he actually
please give us.
Okay, Hamid, can General Khatoj complete his point, please? Thank you.
Okay,
then give us the intelligence to understand what he has stated. You see, Arnab, my point is that the problem in Pakistan goes back to the 50s when Ayub Khan actually first took over control of the country. And he started a policy of soft Islamism, which really took on became very severe when Ziaul Haq became the president and then the president of Pakistan. And it is the result of those policies that Pakistan is really suffering. Now, rest of it is really a symptom. What you have seen in the last 20 years is a symptom of these policies, which earlier started in the 50s, where you have actually Islamized the country, and now practically every Pakistani has been radicalized. I don't blame those young kids. They are simply doing what they have been taught.
I'd like to now bring in. I'd like to bring in Major Janjua. I'd like to bring in Major Janjua. We'll all get a chance to reply. You see, Major Janjua, this comment of the Prime Minister of Pakistan has been made by the Prime Minister of Pakistan. In English, we call this the cat coming out of the bag. Right? What he has said, simply put, and Bura na mane, I speak directly. He has said, when he has said my foreign policy has been for money, he has said that you are a slave nation, a slave to money. And whatever you do as a country is in the interest of getting money. Now, there are decent ways of earning money, not by being a slave. You can have industries, you can have manufacturing, you can have services, you can have software, you can have so many ways of earning money. But when a Prime Minister goes and says these things, you know, how do people like you as Pakistanis put out your face in the world? How do you face the world when a Prime Minister says, like, I'm a slave of money, or we have been slaves for money? Yes.
Arnab, you remember all the statements, but why don't you tell the Indian public when the Prime Minister said absolutely not? Why do you forget that?
Absolutely not.
And by the way,
what do you mean absolutely not? What do you mean absolutely not?
Yeah,
your Prime Minister said my foreign policy has always, our foreign policy is not in public interest, our foreign policy is devised for money. He said that or not? What do you mean by questioning me in turn?
Where do you interpret these things?
Interpret? It is English, sir. Don't you understand English? I know you are Pakistani, but you must understand this level of English.
Arnab, I have taught English to people from your country for a very long time.
I pity them. I pity them. Those who would have to learn English from you.
Yeah. Of course. Now,
Rawalpindi English is not English. It's not a dialect. It's a language by itself.
Right. Arnab,
I don't know anyone from Rawalpindi who can speak English.
Yeah, of course.
But Imran Khan thinks he spoke English. He said, my foreign policy is devised for money. Did I say it? He said it? Did you say it? Did General Sinha say it?
What happened?
आपकी बेइज्जती उन्होंने खुद की.
OIC summit was successful. I can see Indians frustrated. Why Pakistan is taking a center stage in global diplomacy.
Who's responding?
On Afghanistan,
General Sinha is responding.
India is being sidelined.
Yeah, Janjua.
So I can see your frustration.
You made the point. Just listen. I'll just tell you exactly what he has said. War with terrorism, he is not talking only of 20 years back. He said Afghan war in 1980. Not in the public interest, but for the dollar. What is this English? If you don't understand this English, read Dawn. Dawn also, this has come very clear at exact wording. Self-inflicted wound.
Okay,
what is this English?
Question for
what
you
is
then.
this? He's
okay, I have a
just
question for you.
Listen.
Imran Khan
you know, Major, just listen to me. I'm not even started. You know, Imran Khan made the same statement before becoming the Prime Minister. What he said, the CPAC is not in the interest of the Pakistan. And I'm going to scrap this. And what he said after becoming Prime Minister? He said, it is a strategic, thinking in the interest of Pakistan.
You Indians need to go and take a lesson in English.
My friend,
go and take
Major,
English 101 again.
Major, you do not understand English.
Listen.
I'm just speaking
Sanju!
English.
Sanju is also on the debate.
English. If you don't, I will speak in Hindi.
Okay, Sanju's coming in on the debate. I'm opening up the debate. I think I just want to, I don't think the Pakistanis liked it because I called them slaves. I'll tell you one thing. What I meant by calling you slaves, 1 minute. I think it has been misunderstood. We're getting a lot of feedback from the Pakistanis who are not happy that I call them slaves. I want to tell you, Pakistanis, don't feel bad. I am simply trying to say, allow me to explain. Major, allow me to explain. What I mean to say is that you have, 1 minute, Omar, you have a slavish mindset. Hai na? You are a slave to money. Whatever you do is in the interest of getting money.
You were our slaves for 800 years.
What do you mean
you
were
the mindset of slaves?
He's gone crazy. He's gone completely crazy.
For 800 years.
Sanju is on the debate.
Leverage to this man.
And it's another 800 to come out of that.
I need to come in.
Major, I am told that you quit the army. Major, I am told you quit the army after getting a walloping in 71. Don't make me open my mouth.
Okay, can I please make some quick points?
I told you to... Arnab, I asked you...
We gave him such a beating in 71, the man hasn't recovered till now.
I'll give you the lesson of your life.
Arnab, you'll have to ask him to keep
All
quiet.
right, continue, Sanju.
Please, I heard you, now please allow me a rebuttal. First and foremost, let's get this very clear. Good economics makes for good politics and a good foreign policy. Now, Pakistan's economy, Arnab, is in shambles. Before Corona, the GDP size was about $250 billion. Now, I am told it is less than $200 billion. The China-Pakistan economic corridor, which was supposed to strengthen...
Madam, you are discussing Pakistan's foreign policy. What about India's domestic policy?
Let him finish. Omar, let her finish. I'll come to you after that. Volume down. Omar, after she finishes, I'll come to you. Thank you.
You can't rein in these Pakistani goons. Please.
Madam, don't call us goons. I am talking that you shouldn't be discussing Pakistan.
No, I think don't heckle her. You complete. You complete. Sanju is a good debater. Sanju is a good debater. She's a spokesperson of the BJP. She's putting things in perspective for you. And Omar, I think you're becoming insecure with her arguments. Let her complete her arguments and you can come in after that, right? It's okay. Your country is a slave country and that's what your Prime Minister has said. My commiserations. You think I don't feel bad for you? Now Sanju, continue.
So the point is, prior to Corona, Pakistan had the size of $250 billion in terms of GDP. Now it is less than $200 billion. Point number two, the China-Pakistan economic corridor is in shambles. China a few months back asked Pakistan to pay just $8 billion. And Pakistan went running to the IMF with a begging bowl. That is the second point. The third point is your mango diplomacy has failed. The fourth point is that in terms of a match with India, should I tell you, the Indian economy today is almost $3 trillion. We are more than 10 times bigger than you. Our exports alone this year will be $400 billion. More than double the size of your entire economy is where we will be in just in terms of exports. So economically, Pakistan is a midget. Now the most important thing is that IMF has cut financing and funding to the Taliban, which the Pakistan deep state was supporting. So there is another problem there. You thought the Taliban has captured Afghanistan. Now we are going to have a say there. The $250 million
okay, now,
which was supposed to come from
a lot of facts there in your argument. Sanju.
So the point is, you guys are left in an economic mess. So there is no economic policy, no political policy. You are just a mercenary.
Is this a debate or a lecture?
No, it's a debate. It's a debate with you.
It's not a lecture. I'm giving you hard facts. Facts सुनने की आदत रखो. यहाँ पर Indian television में.
Now let me respond as well. Please let me respond as well.
All right. Thank you. Go on.
You say that Pakistan is asking China for money China is killing your soldiers and occupying your territory. Why is India so silent? Your soldiers are dying like sitting ducks.
Asked you to give back $8 billion.
Your soldiers were butchered by the Chinese last year and they have ingressed into your
Omar,
territory.
volume down, because the poor fellow, 1 minute, because ladies and gentlemen, this poor fellow sitting on my right does not have the spine to answer my question. In fact, I find you very weak as a debater, Omar, and I feel that you don't have enough courage to answer my question. I often wonder, people ask me, why does Omar Altaf come and get attacked on your program? You know, does he enjoy it? I said, I don't know.
Because I tell the Indian audience
Because,
that Modi doesn't care about their soldiers.
again, you know, they've got a Modi obsession as well. You know, you guys, listen, we'll throw a little few rupees at you. But you have to understand that your Prime Minister has acknowledged today. I think you can't get touchy over the fact that I think, you know, I think viewers, in November 2021, thank you, in November 2021, the Governor of Punjab said, you know what he said? He said, Major Janjua, General Dhruv Katoch will tell you, he said, we have nothing left. Whatever we had, the IMF has taken away. Today, the Prime Minister of Pakistan has said, our foreign policy is directed towards money. No self-respecting country. I think he said it. Why has he said it? You tell me one thing. Okay. Yasir Janjua, you tell me why has he said it? He has put his house on rent.
Yeah.
You know that? He's got a loan from China. China is asking you back for the money you're not being able to pay. Your Punjab governor is saying, whatever we had is gone. You're chauffeuring the Saudi Arabian prince. He's become a driver for Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Imran Khan, no self-respect. Have you any self-respect? Have you? I'm asking you as a Pakistani. If you have the self-respect as a Pakistani, say I'm ashamed of what my Prime Minister said today. At least if you have any itna sa self-respect hai to, you say that my Prime Minister has said we are a slave country, I feel sorry for it. Say it tonight.
Just wait.
No, say it tonight.
Second, now it's my
say
turn.
it before your Pakistani rupee hits 200 to a dollar. Say it.
Yeah. I am just saying it for you and for Sanju. India's external debt surged by USD 111.5 billion year to 570 billion as of March 2021, according to Reserve Bank of India. According to Reserve Bank of India data released, the external debt to GDP ratio rose 21%, and now it stands at 84%. This is what your India is.
We have the 7th largest.
Oh, you're talking about purchasing power parity? You're talking
General Katoch. 1 minute, General Katoch.
Sanju, I just want to make.
Go and educate yourself.
General Hamid.
I just want to make a few things clear. You know, one, you don't understand economy, the way debt works and the way economy works. So don't talk about it. But you made a point about slavery, and I think I need to question that.
Which business school did you go and read economy? I read
certainly not Rawalpindi Business School.
In America.
Certainly not Rawalpindi Business School.
In America and England. In top business
you read my
schools in
CV,
America
you will
and
find
England.
out.
Which business school?
Which? You read my CV, you will find out.
So you read my CV first.
Okay, I don't need to read. You were once in the Pakistani army. That's all. Nothing more is to be read. You were part of the army we walloped. You joined the army and you had to exit after 71 out of shame.
Don't tell me about
That's your CV.
You know, when nations become slaves, there are 3 characteristics. 1, they lose their religion. Yeah. Number 2, they lose their culture. And number 3, they lose their language. Pakistan has lost all 3.
Well said.
You were a 5,000-year civilization. You lost your religion, you lost your culture, and you've lost your language.
Well said. We're closing in on that, ladies and gentlemen. It's closing in on that terrific argument put there by General Dhruv Katoch. I thank you all. And Vishaka Mishra writes to me, I agree with you, Arnab sir. History reveals that the worst case of lynching this country has ever seen was in 1984. Barnali Sinha says, mob lynching is a serious issue. Remember when you were raising your voice for the Palghar Sadhu's mob lynching, the acid attackers was done, but no political party leader joined hands with you. Good night, she says. And S. Das says, the pseudos who don't want women to get progressive and achieve their dreams are harmful for the country. And she says, I as a 12-year-old schoolgirl am commenting on this. Thank you very much, Arnab sir, for raising the issue. Thank you as well. Hashtag 21 for all. And I shall see you tomorrow, sharp at 9 without fail. Good night and goodbye.